Well, good evening. My name is Market Opikova, and I welcome you to the pilot webinar for the project Green is Perspiration. We call it Green for short, and I am the coordinator of the project. I also welcome my colleague Klarka Tibrakova, who is the director of Balance, who is actually behind this project. Among other things, we created this project with colleagues from Futuregu from Slovakia. We welcome Slovak colleagues and the ADESOS organization with Spanish, so it's kind of an international project. And in this way, we thank the European Union for the support. And just some information about the course and the project, and then I'll give the floor and actually to our great reprographer. Like I said, this is a pilot course, and if there is anyone here who hasn't signed up yet, I will give you the available reading material, registration forms, because I was still posting it on Facebook, and how she didn't fill out that application and how it'll get going. Terka will tell us, but I'll tell you a Facebook group has been created that you've already encountered. Got a link and I'll give it to you here in the chat. And all the information that this board will tell you, it will tell you that you will have some workbooks, some ebooks, or maybe even the record of today's talk you'll find. Log into the Google Drive, which I'll also send to your email, and we'll gradually send it out. This should be an organizational matter for everyone. If you still have anything else, feel free to ask in the group, and I'm handing over the word to our marvelous director, Trda. Thank you.
And thank you for being here with us.
So thank you
for your words. I would just like to introduce myself briefly. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we only have an hour. So my name is Teresa. Maybe some of you know me. I've been doing business in e-commerce for 6 years, and I had my own brand, Tashenka, and a bunch of bags.
Thanks. Thank you for your attention.
And actually, that's where my journey to marketing began over time, and with increasing marketing training and so on. I found that basically I enjoy marketing the most from all the business until I made the decision to hang the bag on the nail.
And I will be self-improving.
Helping other entrepreneurs with marketing. And so sometimes I trend, sometimes I create content for someone.
And overall different marketing.
Other services. So that's a brief about me. I would really like to meet you too, but we don't exactly have the space for it today. So I'll be happy if when you just introduce yourself in a group on Facebook, or maybe you just write to us privately on Instagram. Hi, I was just at your course. I am that Atta. I do that Atta. Really looking forward to meet you closer. Today we will be focusing on the basics of online marketing courses. Just another technical information. Of course, I will give you some information as well. And you will get homework. I will tell you about it at the end. So you'll be handing in this task to the boss. Book your groups, but mainly I would like you to book the date September 26th. Again in the evening from 6 to 6:30 p.m. If we were to like this online, they got together and discussed your tasks and listened to it. I will closer look at them just briefly because you are a lot and we will only have 30 minutes for it. Note it down and count on it, please. So that's probably all about those technicians.
Always present the goal.
Let's go over the basics of online marketing. As I've already mentioned, the course really lasts for an hour, so it's not enough.
Thanks, I'm greasing
Completely enough.
which is related to marketing and so on.
But I would very much like it if
You took it away.
And strategic training, such as curiosity.
and so that you can continue
then
to
goes to the stage.
educate yourself and delve further
On those topics that bother
We'll
me.
give it a try here.
And I would like you to take away three.
That's what I named it. Don't get infected with enthusiasm for marketing, because marketing it's a very nice and enriching field, and I would like to excite you. because thanks to this, you will get married,
Work in marketing, that one to think, and so on.
You will obey.
not only your business, but I believe also yourself as a personality, because marketing, service is spicy, psychology, communication with larger relationships, and so on. So I would like to inspire you. Let yourself be infected with enthusiasm for marketing. In today's course, we will focus on prospective online marketing, and we basically chose this topic. The strategy that frames it, we think, is pleasing, described by Avinash Kaushik, a Google employee. And this method, she's great at it because she probably best captures that online space out of all the different marketing methods. So we'll focus on that today. I've made a kind of diagram for you where there are little faces expressing emotions. Basically, the first phase is customers look at our offer. He is still a bit doubtful. He doesn't know. He is unfamiliar and he is just watching. In the second phase, we've already put some bugs in his head and he's starting to think a bit more about our offer. In the third phase, he's already directing because he shopped, made himself happy, and he's satisfied. However, for many entrepreneurs, exactly, you're doing phase 2, the third phase of shopping. They're interested in customers, disappears, and for them, the process is actually finished, but I really like that in this strategy. It is just mentioned. The fourth phase, that is care, is just as important. When we pay attention to that customer, even after the purchase, and we're trying to turn that satisfied customer into a completely happy customer, thanks to the fact that we'll take good care of him and build a relationship with him and so on.
So when I was basically preparing this training here,
So I'm really immersed in some kind of society, self-study, and developing ideas and themes. I've actually focused a lot on
various marketing strategies and so on. And at one point I realized actually from those various marketing strategies, tactics, I have a feeling it's like a manipulation, like a hunt for a customer. And I would like us for you to take something from this today.
that the customer is not a prey and that marketing is not a hunt.
Or hunting wild game.
That the customer is a person just like me or
Like you, who deserves respect and empathy.
I see sincere and solid behavior.
No, just some manipulation. I really like it, the win-win rule. I don't know if you know it or if you have ever heard it. It basically involves that win is on both sides.
peculiar
The
that
customer will give you money, make a purchase with you, and that will enable you to develop further.
Entrepreneurship, but on the
Some-
customer's side.
Thank you too.
We're competing.
It conveys that value which he appreciates in his own life.
And which might help him solve some problem.
So now let's take a closer look at the individual phases. The first phase is then
Phase yourself.
in the CV phase, I really wanted to mention one important thing. And I will start with an example from my business.
Because it's scary.
She totally started doing business.
I just have caponata.
Without any experiences, marketing, she counts which invent.
Because she enjoys
I
it.
am not from a business family and I have never encountered business closely. So actually, I approached it from such a lot of naivety, and I imagine that when I show people my offer and if they see it, they'll be inspired and head straight to me to shop. This glutton here quickly evaporated because it doesn't really work that way. And according to research, a customer needs to see your product between 6 and 12 times.
Which is, in my opinion, a high number.
And he basically relates to that.
Not everyone. This needs to be seen up to 12 times. Count on not every one of your team groups. I've become my own customer and it's not going to work for someone. Not 12 times, not 15 times, not 20 times. Don't take it personally at all. It's perfectly normal, just like not everyone in the world is your friends. Not every person on the internet is your customer. Channels in phase 2 to oneself.
Primarily in social titles, for example, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Or your potential customers can also see you on Google. And at this stage, see, you need to focus on quantity. This means you need to show your offer to as many people as possible and as often as possible, which you can help with paid advertising, whether on social networks or on Google. Maybe it would be for some further training, but definitely if you're interested in advertising, get into it. Do self-study, and I know that you come across interesting things. I've changed the target experience here several times.
Let's take a closer look at what target group actually is, shall we?
The Trilova group are essentially people, it's a very wide range of people you want to address. This target group is defined in some demographic way. That means, for example, you sell barefoot shoes. So your target group, you think, are people between 30 and 45 years old. For example, electricians are interested in bread. They like tourists, traveling, and so on.
However, I am asking from it.
It is essentially a presumption that is a hypothesis which you have to test. And men go.
The revered God arranged it like that. Just right. Or you can do some research.
Good day, thank you.
Everywhere we focus on that survey because experience is usually demanding, whether we are redirecting or financially, it's a challenging path.
You hear.
So for Stefan to focus on that space.
You can conduct a survey.
Act by asking people in their vicinity
On specific things that will help you define your target experience.
A cup, ideally people who are not closely related to you, as they will always tell you what you want to hear. But just ask, do they tell you the truth? Another way of researching is to take a closer look at the competition, to see how people interact with their contents. Thank you for your attention. But it's also such a surface wave survey because actually if you don't look at the statistics, which is you probably can't get it from the competition. So you're able to print some very simple data. The absolute best thing about circles is if you already have in somewhere, maybe do you run that business project of yours online? Let's look at the statistics when it comes to motivation. Looking at the statistics of who actually visits your e-shop or website, who are your followers on Instagram or on Facebook. And there you can basically decipher who your target audience is. And it's supposed to be this defined group of, thank you for your attention. So it's necessary for her to create the best content, basically tailored to those specific people. You could call it branding, which is brand creation. And the brand should be stylish with visuals, vocabulary, and all possible ways of communication. Essentially reflect that target group. I'd like to tell you a short story about the brand now, which I basically consulted with, and it was a clear-cut barefoot sandal. And the brand is basically already functioning. It has several years of operation behind it. And now essentially they have come to that they would want
just burn out to your vibraki.
A long presentation.
What he said and increase sales.
Well, and what I really appreciate, what
I really liked was their perfect
we'll do it.
Russian.
Oh, let's
Michael
go.
actually addressed all his brands to himself.
Water customer.
I don't know if I would ever be
The
one of those
end.
in their 50s or maybe even with you.
And
Quality
are
forms
you
that
talking?
he was filling out the questionnaire.
Thank you.
And in the end,
As long as
he made quality
I
forms
had a
with
survey
some...
where I even called them.
And he asked them.
He was talking to them, and they actually found out that they told him much more than in that questionnaire where they had closed questions. And he actually found out completely different things. So I recommend being really thorough and detailed in that survey.
And here is this gentleman. Actually,
you.
he is in Sweden, and the whole
His Willow presentation
Online
and
presentation of Accelerate Thim Brane.
That brand, she had such a very masculine vibe, you know. His crafty lumberjack style. He had a beautiful video on the website where it was made dusting their
that branch from those skins, and it was nice.
He had shoes photographed on a man. He had beautiful photos.
nevertheless, from his emissions analysis, basically the target
the
group,
river,
they are
women who are
and they like to clean
Creating tourism, yoga, healthy life.
and so on.
no problem.
Basically, he found out he needs to communicate with them completely.
well, definitely created
Basically
presentation
market
method.
so that woman can see herself there and share
Photos
of his girlfriend whom he photographed for
And a
us.
bit
Those little shoes in the sand on the beach, and it got a completely different energy, a different vibe. And it was very feminine. So basically here I just want to show you just an example of how that analysis is great, not only at the beginning, but throughout the entire business.
So once you have your target group and brand defined,
So
About creativity and content, I recommend getting inspired by successful creators on social networks. Those who make a lot of great content, create inspiring, profitable, or entertaining. Insurance can be applied for psychological measures.
You may
You've
know
got it
about it now.
covered. Hopefully
For
then.
the laddie. which sells stickers for various scans like flour, sugar, or cosmetics. I don't know, it has shampoo, wants to bathe, shower, gel, and so on. It's beautifully graphically processed and makes great videos on Instagram and Facebook when she gives tips on how to organize at home, what to set up so that there is order, so that he has everything. Everything is organized, coordinated, but at the same time, she also makes fun videos where she shares. It's like a behind the scenes of life and also blisters. If you have an e-shop, definitely check out her videos because I think you will have a lot of fun. You will recognize yourself in many things. Next, I would like to recommend you how to do advertising and profile networks. They're basically, Carolina shares great tips which you can take note of. You can take a lot of how to do marketing, how to create content on the net and so on, but also look at the form she does it. And the last thing I shared here as inspiration is Cleaning for Peace, which basically shares Bavarian advice. And I also have very
Clara, you've completely confused me.
Thank you for your attention. Remember.
I certainly apologize for that.
Then you will have the presentation and it is also in the ebook. I don't know if I'll get into the uncle now at all.
Arrived.
Don't bother with it. All right. Okay. So Cleaning for Peace. Thank you. We have reached enough people in phase C, so we are moving to the think phase. The phase think is still running on those social networks, but often also on the web or e-shop because
Longer phase piled up in a song.
the state transaction happens not when the person enters the website, but when they click to send and pay for the order. So it's important to realize that. Thank you. At this stage, when part is already part of those people from the target group were captured, and now
It is necessary to talk with them a little more in depth.
Focus more on quality, respond to them on discuss elevated questions or even high ones, talk to them, have fun with them. I would definitely recommend.
He pledges if you will have doors.
Or I still need to install Facebook there.
Facebook Pixel Code. You can find some guides for that. I managed it and I'm not the technical type, so you can manage it too. And actually this tone will be made from your collect data about visitors on the website who were there, and then you can target them again thanks to advertising and directly address those people who you already know are in the think phase. Ouch, 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 ouch. The king, in short, USP or unique selling proposition. Unique selling propositions are basically challenging things that we create.
It's actually an advantage, actually a competitive advantage.
Is it something unique?
In gold. Thanks to your team, beginners will want to come to you.
To purchase the product.
Is it something that actually solves the customer's problem?
The word with which I am. You will probably encounter a lot if you delve deeper at
marketing. Because the problem is the distance beliefs and always.
She thinks for herself.
When we allow the magical fiat,
they are accepted.
All of you product.
Should there be any problem when
it won't be hard to serve customers anymore.
None. So he will have no reason to buy from you at all.
Is it something that you have and nobody else? No one else has what is not so easy to copy. I also recommend getting back to some survey asking people what they see as the advantage of your product, and so on.
Example of unique selling points, example when it has the natural cosmetics label.
So you solve the customer's problem that he may have problematic skin, and you give him natural cosmetics with a unique composition which simply improves it twice as much. And at the same time, it won't have negative impacts maybe in 5-10 years.
Like other cosmetic products.
With unique setting points, it often happens that people change such like, I'm original, I'm going to eliminate it with love. I want to inspire, I have quality, I deliver quickly, and so on. But these are not, yes, the annex pertains to changes. These are in the cluster of those some added values that you have, but original these days is almost everyone who manufactures. I measure that manufactures with love, and I hope with quality too. So it's not really something exceptional. You need to find your exceptional. Do you believe in what cannot be done now somehow? It will help you a lot. Remove your business and move your people from the title group to the do stage. Phase D usually takes place either at a shop by sending some order, or, for example, filling out forms on the web, by booking appointments, or maybe the order can be placed via a message on Instagram, Facebook, or something similar. And this is incredibly important.
Having that shopping process
as simple as possible. So you never get that customer into a situation where they will have to think about what to do. You need to give him a very clear and concise guide on how to do that, make the purchase, and finish. I recommend focusing on good sales copy when in those texts. Speak directly to that customer and describe the problem your product will solve for them. Do not be too extensive, but try to be specific and clear, and always based on that sales copy.
Yeah.
Sound the alarm.
That means telling that customer what to do to buy it. For example, click on the add to cart button, or send me your order in a message.
True. It should be clear to you that you are in that business.
And when you put on that eShop or web or whatever every day, but that customer who sees it for the first time,
you can get lost in it. So I recommend you look little from.
Do you know what I do? On that first channel of theirs.
And to look at them critically and evaluate where their own matter is.
Alternatively, your customer could stop, get stuck, think about where there is room for improvement, and now it's for the...
So make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's very hard to sell something that is always located somewhere and it's still there.
Because actually the person who sees it doesn't perceive the urgency that they should buy it now.
You must buy the tickets, for example, a month or something in advance.
And you to lead him to that phase, you have to create that irresistible
cupcake, which could be some advantageous thing, for instance.
Handle or a new collection of nothing, or for instance, a gift with an order, or some limited edition or a time limited thing, and so on. I recommend considering the advantageous postage, thinking about the mail, and asking for feedback as well. Either that customers or acquaintances what they think about the postage price. This is a big topic because basically it's a burden from which you as a business owner gain nothing.
You have to pay the carrier. Essentially, you want the customer to pay for it, but be aware that sometimes that shipping cost can deter the customer. And it's also indicated by the fact that actually between the first and second step of ordering baskets, it can be up to 80% people who essentially don't complete the order. And advantageous shipping is essentially one of the reasons for that. You can also work with this by offering beneficial shipping from a certain amount. Well, and what obviously works in the Czech Republic, those are words, and yet discounts. They always work. When you want to sell something, just pitch it. But be very careful with discounts as you can undercut yourself. If you indulge too often, then your customers will be waiting, basically waiting for another discount and won't buy from you at full price. It can happen. Or for example, for a quick catch up on cash flow, you need to quickly to supplement some finances into your business cash register. So you can again perhaps pay for something else. You'll give it a go, but you're not making any profit at all. So never forget with those discounts that you still need to make something out of it. Why it's all the same now and the business is not profitable. So it has no future and it's not promising at all. And you'll realize this too late. So even if you work with celebrities, so don't forget about your profit margin. Another great thing to work with are bestsellers. I sometimes call them roles. It's something people often come back for. What is everyone buying? Something that always sells. I recommend always keeping bestsellers in stock and highlighted somewhere as that this is a bestseller, that other customers like this. Feel free to create a post about it on social media and work with the bestsellers like this. Yes. And then if we manage to get the customer to the satisfaction phase where they're happy and have made their purchases, well, we're getting into the care phase, and I'd like you to really focus on this stage because this phase can help you a lot. The next round of the see, think, do, care cycle, and for many reasons. Thank you. However, when it comes to business, let me give you specific details from my Stashenka's business. Of course, I was building the business for a while. It took me a few years to get it to some phase. Hello. In the last maybe 2 years, there's been a lot of business over there, largely purchases from those of the existing customers who have already shopped with me. It was roughly 60 or 70%, which is a very big number. Those who made repeat purchases, and it's also proven that it's much cheaper to engage someone who has already made a purchase for another one than to acquire a new customer. Yeah, I've had a few of those in the business, a few of those. I was called a superstar by those who simply shopped every month. we were in touch, we wrote to each other, and that's essentially the demonstration of agreements. And that phase of being employed, communicating with that person as such, you can communicate with them through social media. Maybe you will write to each other private messages. They will respond to your stories. And you can easily touch on some personal subjects in that conversation and build a relationship and trust because of it. You can also, via email, the first thing that might come to mind is an email newsletter. Of course, I'll get that too, but work with automated emails as part of the order, because when someone makes a purchase from you, so if you send him a series of emails after confirming the order, thanking for the payment, information that you have sent a stick, and of course, in the end, thanking him for his purchase once you know the package was delivered to him, or was the service provided to you in some way. So you can send an automatic email which essentially thanks him for his purchase, and you might, for example, offer a smaller discount on the next purchase, or ask for a recommendation or assessment or something along those lines. Definitely don't forget about this, as it's essentially the first step with which you can start the relationship with your client. You'll build the project phases KL. Thank you. So we're getting to emailing and sending out various newsletters. I personally had several negative attitudes towards newsletters because do I have something to signify perhaps? And I thought it surely won't work and that it's a waste of time. And what will I be bothering people with emails for? But actually, in my business intentions, I'm quite unique. I've been reading various articles, and from multiple sources, I keep getting information that emailing is great. So I started using and recommend not just sending newsletters, but various personalizations in those newsletters. Thanks to this, you can, for example, set it up. A customer who ordered half a year ago, for instance, can automatically receive an email after 6 months. Something great. Good day. Before the order, you shopped with us. We hope our product serves you well. We'll be glad if you stop by our online shop and check out what's new or something. Something similar. And the option for customization is great, like face-themed greetings. It can be set up in various email tools where an automatic greeting from your email arrives to that person on a holiday. Wishes, we wish you all the best. Here's a gift from us. Or something like that. I really recommend exploring these options. It's worth it. It's a big journey. Throw it away. No? Actually, you can get close to the customer in the order by, for example, you can, will you pack a nice card into a box, or do you throw in a little gift, a card or something? From my personal experience, I highly recommend it. Whether through emailing, messaging, or anything else. You are yours, current clients or customers, your loyal ones, your fan club. Working a bit differently than just through discounts has really worked out for me. Personally, I found hosting events to be very effective. When I had a stone store, the events with handbags were very beautiful, and I organized fashion parties for them. And I always let them know through email. and they had to register and pay a small organizational fee. I always had a theme, a guest of some sort there. And it was such an opportunity for them to meet, to pamper oneself, enjoy a lovely girls' night out, and maybe even treat yourself to some shopping. And for me, it was actually a chance to get to know them better and asking them, understanding their problems, what they're solving, how I could improve my product to make them like it even more, and just to be closer to them in that personal relationship, not just in the form of some automatic emails. So I recommend going from online to offline. Use recommendations to, you can definitely do it. Ask those people who shopped with you to recommend you to someone, but the absolute best and most effective way is when you give them something, the service, he will want to recommend it himself. You won't be founding your brand or service. When she wants to just send a message to mom on Messenger, like, look, this is what I bought, this and that, or even sharing on social networks. If you manage to achieve this, you've won. It's great when you can essentially do that for the customer. After some time, offer a product related to what you've already bought today. You basically want to lead them to another purchase, but of course in a win-win way. So it's not manipulation. Let it be beneficial and valuable for them, and of course for you as well. For instance, you could create an offer that's related to that product. Let me give you an example so you can imagine it better. I'm a big fan of Apple products, but essentially it all started with just a phone call when I didn't think it would happen to me. I was looking for a new phone after I destroyed the last one, I don't know, about 6 years ago. And by creating some content on the networks, etc. So I wanted something high quality that takes nice photos and videos. And I ended up choosing an iPhone. So I bought an iPhone. It was a big deal for me then. In those early days of business, it was a big step for me and a kind of confirmation like that. After achieving some initial successes, I was able to reward myself with an expensive purchase I wouldn't normally make. Using it, I found it incredibly suited to my environment. At the moment when my computer broke, about 2 years later, so I bought an Apple computer because essentially the computer extended the capabilities of using my phone thanks to mutual connections and cooperation. So I actually had one product, and with that I bought another product that perfected the first one or improved my use of the first one. And like this, I could list 3 or 4 more things from this brand, just as an example, but I think you can probably imagine it. Please, it's not an advertisement, it's just my personal experience. And above all, illustrations of what you're telling me right now. So in the care phase, the circle basically closes for us. The cycle comes to full circle. And what I really like about the See, Think, Do, Care strategy is that it never ends, that in reality, it doesn't work like that. That you'd simply gather 100 people, whether you reach out to 1 or 1,000 is a better number. Maybe 1,000 people that you'll reach through an Instagram post from this. From that, simply looks at your website, and maybe 5 of them will buy from that then maybe get two to buy again or something. It doesn't quite work like that. It's not a one-time thing, this cycle, but he keeps going round and round and round each time with new and new people. And I really like that actually when you are aware of this cycle, and you will approach it consciously. So you can essentially improve the cycle indefinitely, starting over and over again, and better and better. Essentially, you achieve better results and expand your circle, a circle of people, a circle of loyal customers, the circle of your fans and people with whom you might even have a friendly relationship in the end. Entrepreneurship has brought me many friendships from my foundations. So I'd like to inspire you towards this. I'd like you to take this away from this course. Be curious and they wanted to further educate themselves, enrich not only themselves, but of course also the people for whom they create. And now, of course, it's up to you. Here it is. Here, essentially, you meet that task. Your task will be to upload a post for me to a Facebook group on social media. The link to that group can be found in Facebook. And essentially, you get another ebook like that in which, yes, and you even marvel at that little brand here. So join the group. The link will be provided. And there I'd like you to post one entry where you upload a photo of your product or even yourself if you don't have, for example, that product photographed or something. And you can include a link to your online store, website, Instagram, anything where we can take a look. Your offer, your creation, what you're selling, describe it in one sentence, just one sentence to describe it, what you're selling. And then I would like to ask you to answer 4 questions that essentially capture the 4 phases are see, think, do, care. The first question is, who is my target audience? Secondly, why should people buy my service or product? Meaning focus on the unique selling points. What is my irresistible offer? Meaning for thinkers, if you will be more likely focus on selling limited editions or bestsellers, or you will be creating advantageous packages and sets, or what exactly is your path to the market? And the 4th question actually concerns the care phase. And there, answer how you can convince your existing customers to shop with you again. There are mainly talking points for you to consider. I'd appreciate if the answers are as brief yet as accurate as possible. So be concise and factual, and you'll get in which basically you have the whole course summarized and more elaborately detailed than what you've seen just on the screen. So I'll be happy if you study it and get the worksheets at the same time. When every sheet relates to one phase and you have 3 questions there, it's for you, it's for reflection. Really take some time for yourself, think about it. Write it down, put it somewhere safe so you can regularly come back to it, maybe add or adjust the information based on what you find out throughout the cycle. And so if any one of you doesn't have a product, which I've looked into in the table where I had an opponent from all of you participating today, I saw that some of you're still considering entrepreneurship and you don't yet have any product, maybe many things. Do you only have it here? You can describe your future product to us, or come up with a fictional one if you're just here to look around and don't actually have either. If you don't have a business or a specific idea, you can use a fictional product, for example. Cloth makeup remover pads or bags from recycled materials. Whether it's natural cosmetics or a service, because and that is a way of doing business. So definitely yes. And once again, I would like to remind you of the feedback call on September 26th. Just asking you for a deadline, submitting the assignment by the 23rd, that's 3 days before that call, so I can make it in time. Read through it, go over it, and so on. Let them then prove to give you relevant feedback. And you don't have to be ashamed to upload something. I think we can give each other feedback among ourselves. And I will be the first one to kick off. I will set an example handouts where I'll show you how to format, how to phrase it. Here, this post as a kind of template, and we'll probably pin it up like an annex to the group. So, so you don't have to wonder which you think it over. So that's about the tasks. I hope I didn't forget anything. If there's anything, Marketka or Clarka, feel free to reach out. And I thank you for sticking with me here. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you've taken away as much information and inspiration as possible, but mainly a marketing mindset and actually realizing that marketing is cool. And I hope you left with a desire and curiosity to delve deeper into marketing and dedicate yourself to it. Some self-study in that second field. And if you'd like to write me something or just stay in touch, you definitely can. I'm mostly on Instagram. I am Teresa Pindakova. This is how we would have met. So thank you. I also thank you, Teresa, and we have a question here. So please either type it in the chat or feel free to turn on the microphone. And there's definitely room for the question now. And now I don't know who learned that hand here. Or maybe it was just goodbye. So before anyone decides, it is definitely possible to ask more questions. I'm just going to summarize how the project will continue. Turka said how this course will continue. You often have frequency in your study. Then there will be a feedback call just to make it something worthwhile for you in that Facebook group. Let Taka comment on it somehow. And of course, we plan more courses. I've already messaged Taka on Facebook, Instagram. Facebook and Instagram marketing, email marketing, and other courses in collaboration with partners from Slovakia and Spain. But all this will only be in the year 2024 from the beginning. So we're testing a bit on you now to see if we've connected. Quality testing and a feedback questionnaire will definitely be sent, because based on that feedback, it then, let's see if you like it this way again, maybe the layout of the independent work. Or if you want another feedback call or anything else, it's just about the design. So it will definitely come after that feedback call. We'll be happy if you then share your thoughts with us. And that's about all from us. Everything will come by email tomorrow. If someone still doesn't know what they will be doing business in, or if they will be doing business at all, we will have in Friedek Mystic. Actually, on how to develop a business plan. It will be a workshop, so definitely. If you're interested, you can contact me and I'll send you a date for a sign up. And so it is free for starting entrepreneurs, because you might have the whole idea but don't know how to develop it. And definitely the green program will continue in 2024. Yes, thank you very much. Please ask any questions if you have any. I might have just pinged something into the chat now, not just a reaction. Well, thanks. So go ahead and ask quickly if you need anything clarified. There's a chance. And if not, we can go for the evening descent. Thanks a lot, Teresa. I think that's great. From my point of view, it was great. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you as well. And I believe it was interesting for others too. Thank you. So have a nice evening. Have a nice evening. And I'm turning off the recording now. And if anyone wants to ask something after it's turned off, that's also possible. Turning off.